You know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything.
How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video. So this is like something that's been going through my head more and more every day. Every time a pre-order shows up, every time there's something that I'm like, I really wanted this, but I can't afford it. It sucks. This is our hobby, right? This is our hobby. This is how we distract ourselves from the real world. And people like to say, oh, you can't bring real world stuff into the escapist hobbies and all that stuff. You can't escape the prices of figures. You can't escape the prices of gasoline, oil, and goods. You just can't get away from it. So why are we supposed to act like everything is fine when a $20 Marvel Legends figure, $20 for the longest time, and you know, COVID brought it up to 22, and then just Hasbro being Hasbro brought it up to 24. Now $27.99. The prices of oil are going to affect that. It is going to go up more. So how are we expected to maintain our hobby and our escapism when we can't escape from reality? That's what I want to ask people, because there's so much stuff around me, right? I bought all of this stuff for the most part at retail. Now retail is almost gone up by half. So like $20 to almost $30. That's half of the price increase in less than 10 years, right? That has never happened before. Inflation, yes. Prices change and all that stuff, yes. But the thing that people got to understand is when this stuff goes up, it's not coming back down. And the fact that we as American citizens, this is strictly for American collectors, but I know the prices are affected elsewhere as well. We as American citizens were expected to pay the tariffs, regardless of what anyone says. We were expected to pay that. So the prices of basic goods, food, housing, electricity, all that stuff went up. The prices of action figures went up. Yet you're supposed to tell me that we need to only use this as an escape and only talk about toys and action figures and all that stuff? That may be true for the people who are on the other side of it cheering it on, saying, yeah, well, it's not affecting me. And it is starting to affect them. When they go to fill up their gas-guzzling Ford F-350 and have to spend $150 on a gas tank, that's going to hurt a little bit, right? So why do we have to pretend that it doesn't affect our hobby? The real world doesn't affect our hobby. The political aspects of what is happening in this country doesn't collect our hobby. Because it's not just our hobby, it's every hobby. Most things in this world are made out of plastic, which is terrible because plastic is awful for the environment. We had so many opportunities to get away from the plastic as a fuel, as a power source, or gasoline as a fuel, as a power source, oil. Solar energy. Jimmy Carter put solar panels up on the White House. As soon as Reagan took office, what did he do? He took those solar powers down. And it's not because he didn't believe that solar energy wasn't accessible and achievable and free. It's because people gave him money to make sure that we stay on the oil standard. And that's just going to keep affecting things over and over and over. We are not going to get away from this system until we buck the system. And how is that going to happen? I really don't know at this point. We have built our dependency on so many unnecessary things, so many alternatives, wind power, solar power, water power, all of this stuff. In Utah, they're building the biggest data center in the world. Utah's water is salty. They have bad water. They have, not only are they run by, you know, a cult organization who just dictates everything, they also are not taking care of the people in the entire state. They would rather take the money to build this data center and improve their economy that way. It's not going to fix the economy. Do you know how much water data centers take? And this is all tied together. I know I'm going from point to point, but the fact that people put money and profits over people should let people understand why everyone is like, man, I'm going to use what I appreciate to protest. I'm going to use my platform to talk about what I feel like I need to talk about. Because it's an unescapable reality. We really can't escape it. When we have been depending on oil for the last, I don't even know. Because, you know, the oil industry, yes, it's been around for a while. But before electricity and all that stuff, we depended on other things. The things that we've done to this environment, the things that we've done to everyday people who are just working their hardest, who have had the same job for a long time and have been able to pay all their bills, collect their toys, do whatever they want, you know, go out on the weekends, have dinner. They can't do that anymore. So it is not only gullible to say that keep this out of the hobbies. It is unavoidable to talk about this stuff. And not only that, we are getting smacked by pre-orders over and over and over. Every day I have at least 2 emails from Big Bad Toy Store. This is coming in, we're pre-orders. I can't get any of that stuff. And I've lived in the same place for 11 years. I've had mostly the same income in amount going in and out and all that stuff. Yet it has become unmanageable. Paying the bills a little bit behind, you know, making the minimum balance so you don't get your power shut off, all that stuff, is normal people who didn't have to do this before have to do now. Why the hell should everyone have to get 3 jobs to just live? It's awful. And the fact that people are okay with it, the fact that people voted for it, the fact that people stand up for it, are like, oh, well, you know, we're making America great. How? Because you're racist, because you hate black people, because you hate trans people, because you hate people of color, because you don't want non-whites in this country? Is that how we're making America great? Because you're shooting yourself in the foot. To get that stuff, you are willing to subject yourself to authoritarianism, a dictatorship, fascism, and the most crazy prices that we've ever seen in a quote-unquote successful economy. What's the breaking point for people? I love action figures. I love this hobby. I love talking about toys. I love getting a new figure and giving y'all my opinion on it. My favorite thing to do is action figure reviews. And I have barely been able to do any of them. Every time I do one, it feels like, hey, look everyone, I still make what I used to. And that sucks. I legitimately like giving my opinion, taking photos, getting that new figure and comparing it to other ones and saying, hey, this is worth it, not worth it, you know, in my opinion. But I'm at a breaking point here. I've got a job interview on Friday for a better job, but I feel like we're gonna have to move pretty soon. I've lived here for 11 years, and they were slumlording it up, just not improving anything. And now they want to fix everything and say, well, this is done and this is upgraded, so we can't, you know, we gotta fix. I've lived here for 11 years. I've been able to maintain my bills, my collecting, all that stuff. But the last 2 years, it has been a very slippery slope. Things are unattainable and unachievable. The fact that they put profits over housing, like they want to move people out so they can redo these apartments so they can charge more. People can't afford what you're asking now. They can, but that's like the breaking point. So I've wanted a new job for the last year. I've worked the same place for the last year. Part-time, I can get the hours I need if I want to pick them up. But it's hard work. This place is full-time. It's the same kind of hard work. But it's a pay cut. It's closer. There's factors in there. You got to factor in. And what I'm trying to say here is willful ignorance will be the downfall of not just your hobbies, but your home, your livelihood, all this stuff. So if you wake up and pay just a little bit of attention, I'm not saying I'm going to stop buying figures. You should stop buying figures. But the fact that it's either I can get one figure or I can put gas in my tank. I can get one figure or I can get food for a couple, you know, we got to start making decisions, y'all. And it's difficult. I have content that I'm working on, you know, I have no motivation. I'm so depressed all the time by the state of what's going on. We've got anti-trans legislation. We've got anti-black legislation. They just took black voters' voices away in Tennessee. That is awful. And then the Supreme Court said, oh yeah, no, the Civil Rights Voting Act, that's not important. You literally just silenced 40,000 people and completely eliminated a group of black voters because you're racist. And that's the whole, like, people are trying to one-up other people. That is the whole thing. The guy in office right now, this is all petty revenge. He does not want any single American who did not vote for him to be comfortably living, safely living. That's just the fact of the matter. And there's people on here whose they've turned their whole content, their whole toy channel, when not saying, don't bring politics into toys. They've turned their whole channel into a political gotcha. And they're not even that smart. The points that they're making are stupid, refutable, easy to fact check. But there's people that eat shit up because they don't want to be wrong. They want to be like, I told you so. Well, it's going to get to the point where we told you so. And I know this is, like I said, it's been all over the place, but this is just pent up frustration that I've had for a long time. And I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of having to point out how wrong and stupid people like Chad are, because he is wrong and he is stupid. He's one of the most unintelligent people I've ever seen open their mouth for 5 hours at a time and just spew lies and straight up parrot talking points from people like Joe Rogan, Fox News, just other YouTubers. I've been told, like, it's or Like a Gundam is one of those guys that's just completely incel manosphere loser like Chad. And you can be married and have a wife and still be an incel loser. Like, that's a fact. Like, but what I'm really trying to say is, don't dictate what other people can use their platform to say. I'm not saying Chad can't say all that stuff. I'm just saying I'm so tired of seeing it because it's literally lies and made up bull. I digress. I love this hobby. I love my collection. I love my audience. I would never want to do anything to alienate my audience and feel like, oh, I can't watch her content anymore because she. But the thing is, y'all, I'm a trans woman. I've transitioned 10 years ago. I've been dealing with people like Chad on a day-to-day basis in real life, on the internet. They don't bother me. What bothers me is the infringement on rights. When you want to blame trans people for every single thing going wrong in this country. Like, he made up some statement that LGBTQ people are responsible for mass, unalivings. That is not true. 98% of these people are males, are his side of the board, not over here. 16 people that ICE ended last year, like, straight up, like, not in holding whatever, but you want to say that the 8, I'm trying to not use words that are gonna get me flagged or pulled down. 8 unalivings by trans people are equal to that, when trans people are 1% of the population. And these are not even mass events. These are just one-off, like, pew-pew violence events. So it is not the same. It is not comparable. You can literally watch the news and you see when something like that happens, you know exactly what the person's going to look like. You know exactly what their political views are going to be like. These right-wing people are radicalized. They want to say that the left is radicalized, but it's not. It is the people that are actively willing to shoot themselves in the foot, to hurt American citizens' livelihood, to discriminate based on a skin color. Those are the guys that are guilty of this stuff. And they're just clapping. They're like, yay, this is what I wanted. And I'm tired of it, y'all. I'm tired of it. People like that need to go away. You can say what you want, but, like, you're not right. You're not going to be right. And you are the problem. And the problem will fix itself eventually. It will. Because the breaking point is almost here. People are sick and tired, poor, not able to make ends meet, let alone collect their toys. But that's all I wanted to say. Keep your head up, stay brave, be kind to local LGBTQ plus community. If you're protesting, be extra super duper safe. I love y'all. I'll see you next time, and bye-bye.
Just wait 1 minute. I'm watching this new Rowdy Rawls video and it's really awesome. I don't want to miss it.
It's like this chick that reviews action figures and it's really freaking cool.
Yes, I think they saw some videos and there's some really good contents out there, She
reviews the ponies and stuff because you knows I love ponies.
She doesn't review ponies. It's freaking cool stuff, Toki.